Folks, spooky season is alive and well, okay? She is absolutely thriving and she's here to stay. Halloween is right around the corner and I actually couldn't be more excited. I think as I've gotten older, Halloween has actually become one of my favorite holidays. In today's video, we are going to be completely designing and furnishing a haunted, spooky circus. Yes, I have already started working on this build, so when we jump over to the lot, you're going to see a lot going on, but trust and believe, folks, one thing about me, you already know there are plenty more details that need to be added, okay? So don't you worry, you're in for a treat in today's video. So without further ado, I will say no more. Let's head over to the lot and start designing and furnishing our haunted spooky circus. Here we are at our haunted circus. So there's a lot going on. Let me kind of introduce you to the Sims, walk you around the lot, and then we will get started with furnishing and designing this whole thing. I've made some Sims for this lot. Kind of hard to see all of their faces, but you kind of get the vibes, right? I mean, we've got a clown. Right, that's circus. Let me kind of show you around the lot. So obviously, you walk into the front gates and you have kind of what I'm picturing to be like the ticket booth, you know, right, obviously. And then of course, front and center, we have our main like circus tent. Over to the left, this is gonna be our little fortune teller little area. Right here in the middle, I'm gonna build a carousel. And right here is gonna be like, you know how they have at like the fair and stuff, those big games and you can win the big prizes. I'm probably gonna put something like that here. This is gonna be like a kissing booth. And back here, we're gonna do like a corn maze. It's obviously not gonna be corn, but we're gonna figure out how to make it a spooky, scary, haunted maze. And I figured these could be like, okay, there's obviously one way to enter and one way to exit, so these will be like the little tellers, making sure people are going in and out the right way. Back here, we have the Ferris wheel. And then back here, we have a haunted house. I recognize for a circus, that's a little bit random, but I think if we can nail the aesthetic to match everything else, it'll make total sense. This little area right here is gonna be like a circus-themed bar, and then obviously we've got these little food stands over here. So we're gonna tie this area together as like the food and drink area. And finally, we have like a little souvenir / gift shop. I don't wanna waste any more time. We have a lot to get through. So why don't we go ahead and start completely designing and furnishing our haunted circus? I think that we should start by getting the main circus tent kind of together. Obviously, it's like the focal point of our circus. What we're gonna do is similar to the roof. We're gonna go every other panel red and white. You obviously see the vibe, you see the vision. We've got the wallpaper for our main circus tent all complete. I'm gonna use this roof trim from Love Struck. How about up here? It's kind of pointless up there. I kind of just want the detail right there on the front. Maybe I should do a half wall. I actually think it looks much better with a half wall. Next, I'm gonna place this flooring from Horse Ranch. I'm really wanting this to feel like a straight up circus, but like it's really run down, it's looking a bit tattered, and like it's very old and is hanging on by a thread. I'm just adding some of these little decals from Life and Death that make it look like there's a hole in the roof. I'm gonna do that all around the roof as best I can. Next, I'm going in with these like thorn things from Vampires. I'm just gonna go in with some of these dry rose bushes from Vampires as well. I think I am gonna go around with some greenery. And then maybe what we can do instead is get two of these side by side up here. What does that look like? I personally think it looks strange, so we're gonna stick with the one. Yeah, much better. We need to find some kind of sign for our main circus tent. Ooh. Ooh, can I shrink this? I know that this is kind of like for like a theater or something like that, but that could actually be kind of cool. All right. I'm feeling good about this terrain paint. I think we do need to go in with landscaping and all of that, so I'm gonna kind of attempt to do that. Here's an update of the landscaping and little details that I've added to our main circus tent. So obviously I've gone in with a bunch of landscaping, as you can see. I raised up this sign, I think from high school years, and I think that just really did something Couldn't tell you what, but it was something good. And then I also added and sized up these little awning things. And I also added this sign from... couldn't tell you, but I just kind of like it, giving it that run down look. I want to add some of these, you know, some of these kind of distressed marks to the tent. Okay, this is looking really, really good. This is definitely tapping into the energy that I wanted. We do need to go in with some outdoor lighting. Now I'm just kind of adding these string lights. I think for now I'm gonna go in with these lights from bowling night. Okay, this is an update. It's looking really, really cool. It's making me want to use those big spotlights that I used in my Barbie dream house video. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you check it out. Yeah. Yay! Okay. I think for now we can move on from our main circus tent. I think this is looking really, really good. Next, I actually need to be so for real about kind of doing the rest of the landscaping for this place. Let me do that. Let me kind of bring it to life just to kind of give you a little update on what the landscaping is rocking on. So I'm basically just doing all the same stuff that I used in front of the main circus tent. And I am just filling in all these empty areas. Now, behind the houses and stuff, I'm not going to be too worried about that. Like back here, for example, I might scatter a couple little grasses back here just to kind of like fill it in. But as far as like doing the absolute most, that's not going to be happening behind the houses. I never really show my process for landscaping that much, so I thought I could come on here and just kind of give you all a little bit of a sneak peek of how I personally do landscaping. So it always obviously kind of depends on the vibe I'm going for. If I'm going for something very manicured, something very polished, you know, wanting it to look very neat and tidy, or if it's something like this where I'm just going for kind of that overgrown, not very well kept kind of energy. So you'll see I'm just kind of like randomly placing things and just kind of filling in the gaps, and I'll kind of rotate them and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's really nothing crazy. I try to make it look as natural as I possibly can. I try to make it look realistic. I try to make it look like layered and like it's got depth. As you can kind of see, it really sets it in and makes it just look more realistic. For now, this is the landscaping all complete. I'm probably gonna go in with some more details, but for now I'm absolutely loving how this is coming together. Landscaping is done, but we do need to go in with some like finer details, and I fear there's gonna be so many finer details. So for right now, I'm just adding all of these string lights from Life and Death, and I want to see if it will look good with them up here, which it just might not, and that's gonna have to be okay. No, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. So that's unfortunate, but we will live. We will move on and do what, folks? You comment down below. You know what we do. What if they actually look good here? And what if I make these ones up here gold? Let's just see the vibe. Yeah, I like that a lot. Oh, what about this? I mean, it's not great. Oh, or is it? Yeah, I actually really like that. Yay! It's coming together. Folks, now I've just done something that some may not agree with, and that is okay. I can understand, because let's be clear, I don't even know if I agree with the decision. But I have just gotten rid of the fence, and I feel like I like it better without the fence, I'm not gonna lie. But now I need to kind of drag the things more forward to give it that overgrown look again. It was just almost feeling like too manicured, too good looking, when I know that's not the vibe that I'm fully going for. We're going for that overgrown. Yep, it's not even a question. Just adjusting the plants a little bit made it so much better. I can feel my brain trying to look for smaller details and more things that we need to add. The truth is, once we start completing these, like, the energy will fully start coming together, and then if there's any other smaller details that need to be added, we can do that. But for now, I'm staring at blank buildings. Like, I need to fill them in. They need to be started. So without further ado, let's start completing the other buildings that are a part of our circus. Why don't we start with our little fortune teller building? I think I'm gonna go for this wallpaper from Spooky Stuff, and then I'm gonna use the same flooring that I used on the circus tent. I'm really loving this fence from For Rent, so we're gonna use this one, and I'm really hoping that there's a matching stair rail, and there is. Okay, what color did I use? That's kind of the problem. Was it this? No. Was it this? No. Was it this? No. Was it any of these? No, like, that's not the same. Is it this? No, of course it's not that. It's gonna have to be this because it's not matching unless there's two. Queen, thank you. There's two. Found it. I think I might use this roof from Werewolves. We are gonna go for this door from Strangerville. Maybe I can get away with these two windows like that. I just added these framed tarot card pictures to the outside. This is what I have going on so far for our tarot card reader slash fortune teller area. So I do want to get some like outdoor lighting kind of leading us down the path. This is going to be our tarot card reader slash fortune teller area all complete on the exterior. Let's go ahead and get started on the inside. So I have already gone ahead and picked flooring and wallpapers. What I am thinking is that this little front part will kind of almost be like a little waiting area. And then back here will be the space where the person is actually reading the tarot cards and predicting the future. Honestly, I'm thinking about using this base game couch. So this is kind of what I have going on so far. I did change the lighting, I added those curtains, and I changed the color of the couch. I'm gonna place this plant from the Crystal Creations pack. I'm gonna use this coffee table. Ooh, okay, so I forgot about these chairs from Paranormal, so I think that I'm actually gonna use these. Kinda random, but I think I'm gonna use this little side table from Island Living. Just placed this tarot card picture. Now we need to just get probably a rug in here and maybe some more clutter items to finish this room off. This is going to be our waiting room for our tarot card reader all complete. Here's how this side turned out. I found this banner thing and it is technically sticking in the wall. We might be able to see it on the outside, but quite frankly, I don't care. So I've pulled out some items that I want to use from Life and Death. I feel like we should get the crow in here. I'm going to get some kind of coffee table placed in here. I'd like to use a cool one, maybe this glass one. So then I'm going to place the little deck of tarot cards, and honestly, maybe I'll place those ones too. Let's go for the purple one. I just changed these lights to be purple, and I think that that has completely transformed this room. So I need to go in with more clutter on these shelves. Oh! The seance table. Hopefully this will be functional. I mean, why is it so big? Are people out here like running around, climbing on the walls or something? And if so, count me out. Okay. Fun fact, folks, I know we're into the spooky season, all that. I enjoy a scary movie, but what I do not enjoy is the demons. The paranormal, no. No. I'm just too scared. So whatever this seance table does, whatever it means, I fear that it is none of my business, okay? Moving on and moving forward. I want to get like those little poofs. I'm thinking of a specific one. It might be from Love Struck. Let's see if I'm right. Thank you very much. I was. Should I do a blue and a purple? Yes, I should. Ooh, I think I'm gonna use this rug in this swatch from Businesses and Hobbies. Now we need to go in with some of those tarot card pictures and some more clutter to kind of finish this room off. This is gonna be our tarot card reader room all complete. This room has turned out super, super cool. I'm really happy with it. Next, we're gonna move on to our carousel. What I'm thinking is that we are just going to use this item from Life and Death, and I'm gonna raise it up. Okay, that took some time, but it's done. And is it perfect? No. Are there gaps? Yes, but it's none of my business. It's quite frankly none of yours. So moving on, moving forward, we need to get some columns in here. Ooh, so I just discovered this spandrel from the Castle Estate kit. So you can see it from there. Now we need to go in and pick a flooring. Kind of love this tile from the Bistro kit, so I'm going to use that one. Change of plans, folks. So I made the piece in the middle this like light green from the Wedding Stories pack. And now I'm going in and changing the outside columns to be these red and white ones. How do you use the Sims 3 camera, girl? I just don't understand it. Okay, yeah, that is gonna be our little carousel. Obviously, I'm still gonna go in with some lights, probably some mirrors all around, and then I'm gonna get some stairs to get up here. I'm doing the same thing as before with these lights from Businesses and Hobbies. Okay, so the lights are all the way around, so now I need to go in with mirrors. So instead we're gonna go in with these mirrors from Luxury Party. Girl, yeah, that is so much better. Oh my god, it's looking so good. I am geeked about this. Guys, this is coming together. Let's move on to our next little situation, which is going to be like the games area. I just copied the same roof that we used over for our tarot card reader, and then I used the same wallpaper but a different swatch. I'm gonna attempt to do a couple of games in here. I'm thinking of putting the button bashers on either side like that. And then I'm thinking of on this side getting the basketball hoop, or like maybe I'll kind of put it more towards the middle. I think we can get away with this whole thing being functional. Okay, so that is what our prize area looks like all complete. That's looking really cool. So I definitely want to get a couple of basketballs down there. Then I want to go in with some lighting and maybe some neon lights and stuff to really bring this together. So this is our games area all complete. I say we move on to our maze. I haven't given this maze a shred of thought, if I'm being honest. I don't have anything planned for this. Maybe I'll put this into a speed build for the first time ever. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just come back and the whole thing will be done. Take your guesses now. I fear that I'm doing too much. I'm looking at this like, okay, how am I supposed to put something scary in every single corner? I fear I've bitten off more than I can chew and I'm not even done yet. I didn't want it to be basic, but I don't even know what I'm looking at. Oh, folks. This is not a good situation right here. Okay. The maze is done. It's way better. Just so you all can see, just follow the cursor. I'm going to take you through the maze because it honestly is a fairly straightforward maze. Well, I mean, I guess I'm the one who did it, so I know. Like, that wasn't too bad, but obviously, you know, you walk through the maze. The point is that it's confusing. So this wouldn't be easy, I don't think, in real life, because there's all these... I don't need to explain a maze to you. I need to go ahead and make this scary, but I'm probably going to do that off camera. So sorry. All right, that is gonna be our maze all complete. This actually turned out sick. Some of the Sims are currently in there. Actually, there's a number of them in here right now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I am really, really happy with how this turned out. As you can see, I popped a bunch of different colorful lights in here, a bunch of different creepy stuff. It really gives that creepy, spooky, haunted effect when it's at nighttime. In the day, it looks just kind of strange, but I am really happy with this. I found the graffiti now. Maybe we can get it on this fence right here. Yeah, maybe something like that. Now it's time to move on to our haunted house. I'm gonna pop an image on the screen right now of kind of the inspo I'm going for this. It's almost kind of giving like, yes, haunted house, but more like fun house, clown house, fun colors, but still creepy. First things first, I'm gonna go in with this blue wallpaper from Island Living all around the first floor. I'm gonna go in with this siding from Horse Ranch, or maybe instead we could go in with this lighter one. This is TBD, but it kind of reminds me of like the clown from It, so I don't know. I kind of like this vibe. I know it looks a little strange, but I actually think that I'm going to use this foundation paint from Base Game in the color red. Again, I know it's odd, but I think that I'm going to go in with this tile from the... forget what the pack is called. I think what I'm gonna do next is use this fence from Businesses and Hobbies and kind of make almost like a queue, like how you get in line. All we need to do is add some final exterior details so that we can move on to the inside. I'm gonna go in with some of these like hole in the roof detail. I think I'm gonna go in with this roof trim from Love Struck, but I think I'm gonna go in with a different swatch on the bottom level just to really lean into that like fun house vibe. I'm gonna use this as our front door, and that is from Werewolves. And then I think I'm just gonna place these windows kind of all around from Strangerville. I'm gonna have them completely covered with curtains anyway, just because I want it to be super dark in here. But I'm leaning into that like colorful fun house theme, so that's why I picked these windows. I just placed all these columns from For Rent. What I'm gonna do right now is size up this water balloon, and then I'm gonna raise it up onto our roof piece, and I'm gonna try to like perfectly place it so it kind of looks like a clown nose right on the front of our house. That looks pretty cool. I know that it's not centered to this, but I kind of want it to be centered to the actual front part of the house like that. This is gonna be our haunted / clown spooky fun house all complete. As you can see, I went ahead and added the scary clown picture in the window. I also added this big stuffed animal in that swatch. I think that looks really cool. So I'm feeling pretty happy with this. It's giving the creepy vibe that I was going for, so why don't we go ahead and move inside. Now we can move on to the inside of our haunted clown funhouse. So this is kind of the layout that I have. So I envision they walk in, I'm gonna make it like a creepy living room or something like that. Then they go through the hallway. This is obviously going to be all spooky and decorated. And I think I'm just going to leave this room closed off, but add some weird looking windows and create kind of a scary scene in here, and same for this room. And then you come up the stairs. I'm going to make this a little spooky hallway. I think I'm going to do the same thing in this little boxed off area where I just kind of create a scary little scene, and then I'm gonna make this, I think, like a scary, nasty bathroom. You'll walk through here and this will be some kind of scary bedroom, and then you'll come through here, another scary bedroom, and then you walk out and then you exit the haunted house. Let's start down here in the living room. I'm gonna start by placing this spooky stuffed couch kind of on a diagonal in the corner right there. I do want to get this like older looking TV in here. So I just pulled some more items out from Basement Treasures. I've just kind of added some of these stains to the floor along with some of these newspaper and like messy paper rugs as well. This is going to complete our front entryway / kind of living room of our clown haunted funhouse. This is how this side turned out. Folks, I've never seen these photos change. That actually just scared me. Okay. Yeah, this is this side complete. Let's move on. I decorated a little bit of the hallway off camera. I didn't do anything crazy just because it's not that big of a space and I want Sims to be able to get through here with ease. So as you can see, I've now just added some windows so that you can kind of see into this room. I just had the idea of placing the secret bookshelf door right here in our living room, just so that Sims can actually get into our little kitchen area right here. I think that I'm gonna add this dining table from Werewolves. Maybe we can go in with that. I'm gonna change the overhead lighting, and I'm gonna use this like dangling light bulb from, I believe it's Laundry Day. I wanna go in and place like a bunch of knife clutter like all over right on our dining room table, and I think I'm just gonna have it facing right outside the window like that, and let's see what that's looking like. Yeah, that's a bit creepy. I also think what I'm gonna do is place this like chalk body outline right here kind of by the window so people can see it as they walk by. There's our creepy little mannequin child standing right in the window. I honestly think I might move it back just a smidge just to kind of, yeah, that is freaky. Okay. I honestly think this is going to be our creepy kitchen all complete. Here's what this side is looking like. This is how I finished off the area that's right next to the steps. I'm going to show you a couple changes I made really quick before we go upstairs. So as you can see in the hallway, I changed the wallpaper to be dark. I felt like I needed to break up the wallpaper. Obviously, I had it all the same, but I needed to change it up in each room to make it just different and scary for each room. So I went ahead and used this wallpaper from Vampires in Our Creepy Kitchen. And as you can see up here, I've got some different wallpapers going on. So now, why don't we go ahead and we will move into this room right here. My vision for this room is like a creepy, nasty bathroom. I think this is where we're gonna leave our creepy, nasty bathroom. This is how this side turned out. Now it's time to move on to our very first scary bedroom. Thinking about using this bed from base game, and I'm just gonna kind of angle it like that. Whoa, I've never actually seen the spider on the web. That's really scary. Okay. Anyways, I just added a couple of mirrors on this wall. So this is going to complete our first scary bedroom of our funhouse. And this is how this side turned out over here. Let's move on to our final bedroom of our haunted funhouse. I'm thinking we get another creepy bed in here. I'm thinking we get Patchy in here. Isn't that his name? Patchy the Scarecrow. Maybe we'll actually put him over here in this corner. This is gonna be our final scary bedroom all complete. Here's how this side turned out over here. Now it's time to come over here and start decorating our bar. I've just added some lighting around our outdoor seating part of our bar slash restaurant. So now we need to go ahead and move inside and actually begin decorating our bar. These are the lights that I've decided to use. I think I'm gonna use this bar from Werewolves just to kind of really bring that grunge element back into this space. I also just added this bar back. I think it's from Strangerville. And I'm gonna go in with these base game bar stools. I've just changed the lighting in here and I think it's looking really cool. We still need to go in with some distressed marks all over the inside and honestly the outside. I've added a bunch of distressed marks to the inside of our tent and also to the outside. I just sized up this rainbow thing from the My Wedding Stories pack. I think I'm gonna go in with a record player over here in this corner. Then I honestly think what I'm gonna do is add in 2 dance floors side by side right there. Just like that. I believe this is going to be our clown circus bar all complete. This is how this side turned out. I decorated our outdoor seating area off of camera just to save time. I have been filming this video for so long. I have no idea how long it is at this point. So yeah, needed to save some time. So this is what our little outdoor seating area turned out like. It's time to move on to our souvenir shop. Then I think I'm gonna use this door from Strangerville. Next, I'm gonna place this cluster of balloons across the front. I think that what I'm gonna do is go ahead and place all of these sphere lights from the My Wedding Stories pack, just to kind of line the pathway. It doesn't need to be perfect. Obviously, we've got some plants kind of coming through. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the swatch to kind of be like rainbow. So this is going to take me a minute, and I fear, yes, I will in fact be doing it off of camera. This is what it's looking like. It honestly looks really, really cool, but this is what it looks like at nighttime. It's just too bright. The issue is I'm going to have to go in and change the lighting of all of them, which is really tragic. Okay, it's done. I did delete a significant number of some of these ball lights because it was way too bright. It was way too much. So I have deleted a number of them and kind of respaced them out, and now I'm happy with how this is looking. With that being said, I think this is going to complete the exterior of our circus gift shop. So now we can go ahead and move on to the interior. I'm thinking some sort of cash register area, and then just putting a bunch of big prizes all around and creepy stuff. And we can just pretend that there's like novelty items in here, like one of a kind circus memorabilia or something. Just went ahead and switched out the overhead lighting. So far, this is what I have for our souvenir shop. Maybe if we get a couple of fun mirrors like this, and then we can change the swatches of them to be like fun colors. This is gonna be our completed souvenir / gift shop. And here's a look at this side of the store. I went ahead and I added more of these like string lights all around the circus. I also changed the tone of those string lights as well, and I think that it has completely brought this thing to life. This is what it's looking like so far. It's pretty much all complete. Obviously, we need to start and finish our main circus tent, but everything else is basically done, and I just had to show you this view. It is looking so incredibly sick. So let's just dive right in, and we will begin furnishing our main circus tent. Okay, I needed to do a number of things off of camera. I needed to get all of the wallpaper, all of the distress marks, the flooring, the stages. I needed to get many of things set up off of camera to kind of figure out what I even wanted to do. So this is the main performance area in our circus tent. And then obviously this is like the performance stage, and I threw a microphone and a piano up there. But this is kind of the bare bones. We need way more detail. On the side of our main circus tent, we have like a sideshow area. So I'm thinking about doing some spellcaster stuff in here. Almost kind of like this is like where they host magic shows over on this side. And then over on the other side of our main circus tent, I split this room in half. And what I'm thinking about doing on this side is almost like a ring toss or something. I'm going to place a bunch of fish tanks or something like that. And then on this side, I've kind of finished this area off, honestly, by just putting in some dartboards. So this is obviously a functional area for Sims to come and play games. And then as you can see on our main stage, we have this little doorway which leads to a ladder which leads upstairs, and I'm gonna get like a few bunk beds in here so that they actually have a place to sleep. It's time to get some seating in here for our main stage, so I'm gonna get the grid on just so I can actually see what I'm doing. I think I might actually place seats in every single square. So I've got the seating in. I don't know if this is gonna be functional. I would really hope that Sims could still get through there. I think that's plenty of room, but who am I to say? So the seating is good over there, and now I need to copy the same thing over on this side. These vertical lights coming down like this. I'm happy with this. This is looking really good. And now we need to go in with like some props, some stunts, and things like that. I think this is gonna be our main performance area of our circus stage, all complete. People, don't ask me what this is. Just don't. Okay, because the reality is that I don't know. What I do know is that these are pieces that you're supposed to use with dogs. I believe they jump through these, they run through these. Listen, okay, it's The Sims, and we all know that we have to get a little creative in this game. So I'm almost pretending like maybe these are rings of fire, they jump through them, these are cannons, somehow they shoot through this into that. Girl, I couldn't tell you. Okay, use your imagination, you see the vibe, you see the vision. Overall, I'm really, really happy with how this room turned out. Let's move on to our spellcaster slash magician area. I'm thinking about just copying the same seating. I'm also gonna put some chairs right there on the side of the stage. So I actually just took away this set of stairs on that side because I think I want to get a cauldron up here, and it obviously would have blocked the stairs. So I'm thinking about extending our seating over to this side just a little bit. I do think that I want to use the more like classic looking one. I do want to get like a side table. What better table to use than the one from the Spooky Stuff pack? I got my Realm of Magic filter on, and now I'm just going to go ahead and place a number of potions. So we've got our potions on the table. I'm just gonna place this statue from base game with this top hat on it. My thought is that maybe somehow the magician is able to get this statue to talk, or they use this hat to pull random stuff out of it. I just placed a couple of magic wands on our side table. I've went ahead and added some of the glowing orbs. I added the touch of starlight. This is gonna complete our side stage for our magician. Now we're gonna move on to our little ring toss area. I've also just kind of sectioned it off with this like red rope fence. I need to find a couple of fish bowls. I'm just gonna place a bunch of these. Hopefully this is a game that is familiar to folks and that I don't just seem absolutely insane. This is where I'm gonna place the prizes. This is gonna be our ring toss area all complete. I also extended this wall just to completely close it off, and then I added this doorway. I haven't changed anything about the dart room, but I just figured I'd show it one more time. We are all done with the main floor of our circus tent, so now it is time to come upstairs and furnish the bedroom for our circus performers. I've managed to get 8 beds in here. I used all of the bunk beds from Werewolves, and then I just put in this clothes rack. I'm also going to place this costume trunk over here in the corner. I'm going to use the trunk dresser. Let's go for that one. I actually really want to get like a mini fridge or something up here. I actually just extended the room a little bit just because I really want these Sims to actually have a place to like hang out and do stuff. Now I'm seeing a ladder on this side of the bunk bed and a ladder on this side. My hope is that if I put this love seat here and squish it up as much as I can, that this ladder on this side will still be functional. Sims should be able to get up the ladder. It should all be fine. That's the hope, at least. This is kind of what I'm doing to this area over here. Maybe I can still get a chair. Maybe I can get like 2 beanbag chairs. I'll squeeze one in right there, and I'll squeeze another there. And the truth is that it should be functional. It should be just fine. I'm gonna give these folks a video game console, okay? They deserve that at the very least. Now I think I'm just gonna go in with some rugs and some pictures, and that's gonna be the end of this room. This is going to complete the bedroom for our circus performers. Here's how I decorated this side over here. This is going to be our haunted, spooky circus build, all complete. I can't even begin to describe how long this has taken, time-wise, and also how much mental space this has taken up, how much emotional capacity this has taken for me to complete. But in the end, it is so incredibly worth it. This is exactly what I had pictured when I thought about doing this build, and my vision has completely come to life. So I am so happy with this. I think it's only right that we take one final tour through the entire thing. It is so weird to see this build like in broad daylight, just because I feel like it gives so much more of the vibe at nighttime, but I have made a couple of changes that I needed to show you all before we go on the tour. I basically just finished off our little kissing booth with just some neon signs on the outside, and I didn't put anything on the inside, folks, because we don't have anything relevant in this game to add to that to make this a kissing booth. So I just put a chair right in front of the window. Okay, moving on and moving forward. I did something similar for the little booths that I put at the entrance and the exit of our maze. Another change that I made was I added public bathrooms over to the side of our souvenir / gift shop. There are 2 little individual stalls. They've got toilet sink and toilet paper. And then around the back of the building, I put in 2 legit bathrooms for the circus performers to have. So there's 2 showers, 2 toilets, 2 sinks. Last but not least, I did go ahead and add a sink to our haunted, spooky kitchen because I also remembered that there isn't a real functioning kitchen anywhere on this build. So for the sake of the Sims that are actually living on this lot, I thought to myself, let me just make this technically a functional kitchen. And I also just put a little trash can over there in the corner as well. And I am recognizing that technically there's no room for prep, but you know what? This is not the point, okay? They will figure it out. Without further ado, I think it's time that we take our official final tour. This is the front entrance of our haunted spooky circus. You have like the little informational chart with maps and stuff of how to get around the circus. Let's start by going this way. So over here we have our fortune teller / tarot card reader. This is what the little waiting room / lobby looks like. And here's this side over here. It's been a few days since I actually worked on this tarot card reader room and I forgot how sick it is, so I'm really happy with how this room turned out. And here's how this side turned out. Right here we have our carousel, which turned out so freaking cool. I absolutely love this. Moving over to this side, we have our games area. So I've put in a couple of button bashers, and then we obviously have the basketball hoop like you would see at a fair or something like that with all the huge prizes. And right here we have our kissing booth. Then we have our spooky maze. This turned out really cool. We have our fully functional Ferris wheel. I'm really happy we got to incorporate this into this build. Next we have our haunted house / clown fun house. Here's a look at our spooky living room, and we've got our creepy kitchen. Here's this little corner. We've got our creepy, nasty bathroom. Got this side over here. Creepy bedroom number 1. Here's how this side turned out. Creepy bedroom number 2. And there's that side. Next, we have our clown bar and our outdoor seating area. Here's what the inside of our clown bar looks like. Then over here, we've just got our outdoor seating and food area. Then right here, we have our souvenir / gift shop. Here's how the inside turned out. This is so cool. I'm obsessed with this room. And then we have this side. Last but certainly not least, we have our main circus tent. Here's how the main performance area turned out. Then over to this side, we have like our side stage where our magician / spellcaster would perform. Over here, we've got ring toss with a bunch of prizes up for grabs. And then over on this side, we've got a bunch of dartboards for Sims to come in and use. And finally, we have the bedroom for our circus performers. Here is how this side turned out. This video has taken me so long. I apologize for all of the delays. I was on vacation. There's a lot going on in my personal life right now. Nothing bad, just a lot of big changes coming. So apologies again for the delay and change up of my uploading schedule. It's actually been really sad for me. I love uploading. I love making the Sims videos and having my YouTube channel. So hoping to kind of ease back into my normal routine with uploading. But with that being said, folks, this is going to conclude our haunted spooky circus build. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure that you give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, okay? I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. We are well on our way, okay? I appreciate all of your support. Anything helps, whether it's a like, a comment, subscribing. This is where I'm going to leave you all today. Leave me some comments down below of things you'd like to see next, and I will see you all in my next video.